players that were performing very well last year. Can they get themselves together and find some synergy? We'll find out right now as we hit pick and ban for game number 1. Hanwha versus SKT. SKT on our blue side to start things off. We'll see what they're going to be banning. It is going to be the Lissandra as the lights finally get turned on the Champs League.
And that's interesting. Faker definitely capable of playing Lissandra, and she is a champion that I know a lot of teams personally hate right now because of how safe she is. She is an answer to a lot of the meta champions, and she's quite obnoxious.
Well, Faker hasn't actually played her so far this season. Yeah. He played it a heck of a lot in
he played her a lot in Kesper Cup.
In Kesper Cup, yes. And they're actually going to ban their 2 favorites from the Kesper Cup. So Urgot and Lissandra both taken away from Hanwha Life Esports. Last time Hanwha Life were out, they did like the Lissandra a lot, but that was actually Tempt piloting it. Lava is, of course, very good at the champion, but I think about something more like a LeBlanc, which he had a pop-off performance on, was absolutely fantastic a few days ago. But the Cassiopeia and the Lucian both taken away here.
Right. Some
standard red side stuff already happening as SKT, no one looking at the Aatrox just yet. Is he going to finally slip through the draft?
Stop. Thresh now being banned away by SKT, targeting Key.
Yep, and the last ban to come in here from Hanwha Life, and the Akali is certainly standing out. We know how much Faker plays it in solo queue. Of course, can't play that one as well. So a frightening proposition to leave the Akali available, and what do they snap away? I mean, things like the Scion, Vital on the top side. We know that Hanwha like to team fight, and who's better than the train driver in order to get that one happening, and they are going to make the trade. So Tom Kench taken away from Mata, and SKT have Akali to find, and they find her, and lock her in straight away for Faker most likely.
It's nice that you do point out for most likely being Faker, although Akali is able to go top lane. Summit is an absolute monster on the top Akali.
One of the only ones that's really been able to make it work alongside, I guess, Rascal. Also able to get some things done on it. And stay here, please stay. Stay, stay, stay. Oh god, it's locked in. Alright, well, I mean...
They done goofed up.
I'm gonna have to... oh, you done...
They done goofed up.
They definitely done goofed. Aatrox. Well, I mean, it's been picked. Hasn't made a mistake just yet, so I'm not going to call him insubordinate and churlish just for picking the champion. Bono, what's he going to get? Alistar is going to be picked up here, so SKT gets Scion if they want it, which I wasn't expecting them to have access to in the 3rd round, but here we are.
Well, Alistar is picked up, and the issue with the Hanwha Life team composition right now is, well, Aatrox is there, but they have shown 2 champions that are already designed to try to engage upon the opponent. And SK Telecom be like, okay, well, if you want to engage and you have an AD-centric champ so far, we can just answer with Ezreal, which is one of Teddy's best champions.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to get to Iceborne Gauntlet. Braum is going to be able to answer the Alistar, and things are looking very ugly for Hanwha Life. And we're not even halfway through the draft.
Yeah, exactly right. And this is also so much flexibility in this draft. I mean, Flexi has told us all about the flex picks over at the LEC. We know that that is exactly what all of our LCK players like to get. Flexibility is not what the LeBlanc is. That is just power in the mid lane, and Lava going to be bringing it to the unkillable Demon King himself in the mid lane.
Well,
that is a gauntlet being thrown right there, LS.
Now, again, I mean, the Akali could still go top lane. The Aatrox nerf definitely made it a lot more manageable of a matchup for Akali, and it does eventually hit a point where Aatrox cannot approach her. So, still don't know yet. Hanwha Life now banning the Rise. That is another champion that does manhandle Aatrox, and if they're banning the Rise, it probably means that they might also ban a Victor, because Victor is also quite okay into the Aatrox, and he can even still go mid here as well.
Has been a pick for Khan as well a lot, is the Victor. He's jumped back on it. You saw in the limited highlights that we actually had available at the SKT Griffin series. It was his Victor that was up there on the top side of the map, so I'm glad that you brought that one up as well. I haven't actually been all that impressed by Khan's Victor. I like him more on Brawly champions and things like the Jace. Just taking away power picks, I guess, from SKT.
I guess you ban Vayne here, or because they're banning Kai'Sa.
And no junglers have been hit at all.
Yeah.
There is the entire jungle pool available, apart from Aatrox.
Well, there's too many junglers that are online. Okay, well.
Not anymore. There's an Olaf missing.
Alright, well, Olaf yes, he does fit into the super aggro, smork type team composition that Hanwha Live Esports has been drafting thus far. But when you already have an Ezreal and a Braum, yes, Olaf's going to be impervious to the CC during his ultimate. It's very easy to kite backwards when you're the blue team, and so I do think that ban allocation a little bit.
So Alistair's special delivery coming in here for Hanwha Live Esports. Song, you're going to be heading back to that one. That's a Galio. Oh god, stay. Stay.
You promised me good League of Legends.
Hey, it hasn't been bad yet. It's just that the draft is questionable when you know, taken at what your expectation level is at. Okay, so it might be that Fake is going to pilot this so beautifully, it's going to make you cry. But Clid, he can certainly play the Leesin to that level, so we'll see whether he can actually get things done that they need to. As now we're going to work out whether or not Bono is going to be on the Aatrox, as Hanwha Live Esports are going to let us know their composition. Taking some time here, 10 seconds to go. Key, what is it going to be? It is going to be the Akali on the top side of the map, like you were talking about before, and the Nocturne's going to be locked in. So into the Aatrox is the Akali, exactly what you were talking about. And look, I was personally thinking that Aatrox would have been a better fit for the jungle, because the issues that he has with the fact that Umbral Dash doesn't get the charge at level 2 and things like that, like, you may as well take it to the jungle where it doesn't matter. But Nocturne's going to be picked up.
The Nocturne does block out Galio's ability to ultimate while the Paranoia is active, but it looks like Galio's actually going top lane.
Wow, okay. That's
Battle of the Bads in top between Aatrox versus...
Oh, no. Switch back.
Oh, right at the last second. Okay.
Yep, that'll get you. And one thing we didn't actually talk about was the fact that Nocturne was available and Clid locked in the Leesin. So going back to Comfort instead of going back to the I want to ruin Callista's day every day of the week type move.
Yep. And also triple teleport for SKT.
Yeah. Well, Teddy, of course, does want to be taking that one on the Ezreal, and we saw Ruler's Ezreal just get completely smashed.
Yeah.
In the last lane that we saw it at, and Deft, he did the same thing. Ezreal's having a great day in the laning phase so far, but Braum might help this one out, and we know Marta's Braum, he likes to get in amongst it. He likes to create highlight videos of himself back when he was in China. That one's a real fun one, but he wins more than he loses. That is definitely true on this champion. As these are your team compositions, and LS, I know you've got some question marks as to which champions have been picked up, but who are you actually favoring as far as how these champs work on paper together up against their opponents?
Let me answer that as soon as we're in game.
All right.
I gotta take it all in. I gotta digest this.
All right. Well, I'll give you a moment as the fans are going to start cheering. Fair few Hanwha fans, as hopefully LS has done some digesting. Just to let you guys know, I know we're not on screen anymore, so I will need to keep you updated. LS is still here. We're fine.
Involuntarily. Alright. Oh, man. Oh, God. Alright, so, thinking about it, I mean, it's interesting. If the blue team composition does fall behind, they have the luxury in knowing that Hanwha Life sort of has a reliance on Baron in order to end the game, unless, of course, the Nocturne or LeBlanc are just so big that they can absorb 1 or 2 turret shots and delete someone anyway, and that'll open up the base without a Baron. Outside of that, SK Telecom does have more gears available to them. Akali having the teleport later on into the game can split push against the Aatrox, but does have to be cautious of the Nocturne when getting ulted onto. It's really coming down to Akali and Ezreal versus mostly LeBlanc. That's what the real focal point of this matchup is. I thought we were about to have a pause.
Well, we did. It was thankfully just a visual bug, so we're going to be completely fine. Both of our junglers starting on their red buffs. They're going to be opposite side starts here. We'll see whether we get vertical jungling. It looks like Bono is going to be heading towards his bottom side. See where he's heading. Clid down towards his Krug camp. So both junglers staying bot side, as our Bono will walk over this ward as he heads towards the Rift Scuttler.
Yep. The interesting thing here is that you can see that Bono is posturing the way that he was in the event that Leesin would try to come over to get the Scuttle Crab while LeBlanc does have priority and Songyun and Ki can try to collapse. So what he's trying to do here is he goes from red immediately to the Scuttle Crab. Now he'll consume his entire blue side jungle and he will mirror Leesin's movement to the left-hand side of the map. And even though this slows down the rubber banding on the Wraith and Golem's camp, it does allow him to protect his laners and match gank mid if need be, so that Lava can just keep doing what he's doing.
Might be able to threaten double Scuttle Crab as well with that particular start. So Cleared, like you say, is going to be taking his Raptor camp. Moving on up to see how full clear this is going to be for the Leesin. Khan with a shove on the top side, and Khan on the Akali. We'll see how he's going to go. Of course, we know Khan as, okay, here's the flash. Cleared's going to turn up mid lane, and this is not what we're expecting, but it's certainly a welcome one for SKT fans. First blood to the clean Leesin of the mid lane.
And this is really problematic because Galio has teleport. He's going to get this entire wave. LeBlanc's going to lose it. So Faker already off to a massive advantage.
Means that Cleared transitions into this Rift Scuttler as well, so able to even that one out.
Able to take another quick look at this. And Lava, I mean, it feels like you should know that it's about to come because of how Faker's moving, but nonetheless, he gets locked up by that taunt, and it was just a very clean kill.
Yep, and his only option was to flash extremely early in order to avoid that. And that could have just been a really silly flash in lane, theoretically, if the Leesin wasn't actually there. So really nicely done by SKT, just to force the envelope. And what were we talking about when they were up against Griffin? They spent an entire game doing nothing. 28-minute first blood. SKT with the more proactive composition, not being proactive. Well now, first blood at 3-4 minutes. That's about the adjustment that you want, as that's triple dank, Seal. Is that 2 dank?
It's not necessarily 2 gank. The LeBlanc doesn't have teleport, so you can try to abuse the extra mana and the AP as a way to fight back economically inside of the lane. And rather than trying to necessarily kill Lava, especially when you don't have your flash available anymore, you can just try to attack the mana pool of the opponent and basically say, okay, I didn't kill you, but I get to stay for a minion wave that you don't, so I basically assisted you.
Yep. Alright, well, he's going to have a stack on all of them as well after that assist did come in, so he'd already gone back to purchase them. So nicely done. Cleared down here on the bottom side of the map. Not actually going to start up his Krugs just yet. Looking for a potential lane gank as Songyun's very low on mana. And Faker coming down, getting control of the vision, and that's what happens when you do get priority in that mid lane. Pono's going to immediately clear out the control ward though, and because Cleared was taking his Krugs, not able to actually do any damage. Callista goes back home, gets the Berserker's Greaves, and hop, skip, and jump. A whole lot better with the Martial Poise now.
Yeah.
Martial Pose, sorry. Everyone says poise, but it's not actually poise, it's pose. But place.
I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. You know what else I love?
What do you love?
Akali.
Yeah?
You know what I hate?
What? 9.3?
No, you were expecting me to say Atrox, weren't you?
No.
All right.
I would
good.
never expect you to present any hatred towards the champion that you've been telling people never to pick again.
All right.
I thought you'd be totally into that.
Now, speaking of things I'm totally into, Galio level 6, looking for some sort of a potential roaming play. Not quite sure what the size of the bottom wave, or the bottom lane minion wave is, but looks like they can't actually look to make anything happen. Nocturne's still not level 6.
But offering a lot of pressure is Faker just by hitting that level 6, so like that one a lot. That was very cute, actually. Dodges out of the way of the distortion. With Justice Punch, Cleared going to come on over. Oh, that was almost really nice timing, but doesn't decide to opt in for the Q. Finds it anyway. But Bono's waiting in the area. He just cleaned out vision. And SKT, not going to be overly aggressive, as this minion wave is slightly over Lava's side of the map. But,
it looks like they want to make something happen.
Yeah, and that is real dangerous. That is all Bono just trying to clear this minion wave so that Lava gets a good back timing, but Cleared decided to stay along with Faker. Not going to be able to get anything for free here.
So I think Nocturne just pinged Wraith Camp, Red Camp, and I think oh no, never mind. I thought he was trying to tell his teammate that I need these two to get 6.
Already has it, actually.
Yeah, he already has it. He just got it off the Wraith Camp, so I guess I don't know what the 2 pings were for. Maybe him just saying, no, I just want to get red instead. And meanwhile, SK Telecom, they're going to get themselves an extremely early Ocean Drake.
Yeah, and Faker's going to clear out this minion wave. He's under no threat. You've got Khan backing on the top side of the map. That was a free Drake and a very controlled play. This is what we were expecting after watching SKT in the Kesper Cup. It was super clean. A lot of their macro was unanswerable in a lot of ways just from getting small advantages. And that first blood put them in a position where they can make plays like this, and Hanwha have no way of actually challenging it. And I might sound really, really excited. There's a reason for that. That's because so far, this series is very different to our one prior.
Yes, it's already off to a much better start. Now, the Ocean Drake, not going to do the most for Clid and Khan. They do not have any mana, but for the Ezreal and the Galio, getting it this early is definitely very welcome.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And, you know, Faker, the nerf to the Galio was partially to do with the mana cost on the Q, and the Ocean Drake should help mitigate that at least. I mean, that's the least of his worries as far as the nerf's concerned, but still, it's one of them. It's a thing. Sangin and Key sort of floundering here a little bit, not wanting to press too far forward on the bottom side of the map, and you can see Teddy and Marta very comfortably clearing out these minions. Sangin doesn't want to be taking too many of those for free. You can see Teddy's gone for, I want to have the best laning phase possible, delaying the tier to finish his Sheen. See where Teddy's going to go as far as his Ezreal build is concerned. He might be going to Trinity Force again. He is one of our Ezreals that likes it a little bit more than others. Well, today, earlier. A lot of Iceborne Gauntlet. Is that True Shot Barrage? Half of Key's health bar.
Yep. Well, speaking about the differences between Iceborne and Trinity Force, the Nocturne, the Callista, and the Aatrox, they definitely want to be kiting in. They're all short range, so the Iceborne Gauntlet does help out immensely against those types of champions. And if you can provide slows and CCs for the Akali, definitely helps out. So I'd actually be pretty surprised to see if he goes Trinity Force in this particular game. As meanwhile, Bono...
looking for that first Paranoia.
Yep.
He's in position for it. There's Sangin and Key just eating some damage, wanting to try and make some space for a play here, but Teddy not going too far forward, getting free Mystic shots where he can find them. And no dice.
And a little bit of poor orchestrating there.
That's a lot of vision. As the Mountain Drake still has 2.5 minutes. Certainly, Hanwha Esports are going to have priority on that area given the vision that they have available to themselves, but it looks like SKT aren't going to put up anything just yet because they don't need vision of that area at the moment. Nothing to worry about. And this
every lane is a gentleman's agreement. Look at the CS across the board with the exception of in jungle.
Yeah, and it's been the Leesin power farming, and often in these scenarios you see the Nocturne with a slight advantage. But Clid, because he got that first blood, he's accelerated in the items, he's got Ninja Tabi and his Warrior Enchant, and the Chilling Smite as well, going for a little bit more utility now that Skirmisher Saber has been hit just a little bit with the nerf bat. He's now going to make his way down towards the bottom side, make it 2 for 2 as far as these ganks. Marta and Teddy clear out the control ward, and the Leesin is going to continue to go unseen on the bottom side. Oh, it's the dream, isn't it? You don't have... Okay, there's the kickback. Sangyun, special delivery, but it's a miss on the ultimate. Doesn't even matter. Marta just dives on forward. And now we'll take some turret plates as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I really like that. The True Shot Barrage is actually really deceptive because you wouldn't imagine that Ezreal would just cast it arbitrarily if a gank was about to unfold. And then Sangyun just walks a little bit too far forward and Clid tells him to straighten up.
Yep. And gets the flash kick. Not anything that Sangyu could do to that one. And Clid just demonstrating he doesn't need a Nocturne to pick on a Callista.
Yep. So, thus far, SK Telecom, and we can just see it one more time. They clear out the vision. Mata backs up, channels a recall as Ezreal channels the True Shot Barrage, and then very easy Insect performed there right by Clid. They pick themselves up a kill and a turret plate, so... the bottom lane for SKT, getting the ball rolling for Teddy.
Yeah, and Faker still has all of his dank seals. Protobelt now completed, though, for this Galio. Ahead by a few CS in the mid lane, but going farm for farm is exactly what you want to do against the LeBlanc, who wants to get things going, wants to start getting kills, and wants to dance around the map in the mid game at this point, catch people out, land the chains, and set up kills for Bono to augment. It's just straight up not it's just not what's happening this game, because Hanwha Life Esports are just that little bit too far behind to make aggressive moves like that.
And there is the Trinity Force completed for the Ezreal.
That's
and
the
this
opposite
would be
of the Trinity Force, the Iceborne.
Oh yeah,
Trinity,
sorry. There's
Trinity
the Iceborne,
Fist.
not the Trinity Force, completed for the Ezreal.
Well, that's the Fate's call. We've decided to go for it. Key's going to flash forward. Mana gets delivered back. But Bono takes the wrong direction. Thankfully keeps himself alive, but Hero's entrance comes down. Gets a nice knock-up. Bono, you ain't going anywhere, buddy. That is a one-for-one trade. And now the kickback. Lava's going to get followed. Clid going to solo out the mid laner while the rest of his team deals with the support. I'm not sure that Q had landed. That was a dead LeBlanc, but still having to run away from the jungler right here. Q wins the cooldown. There it is!
And you can hear all the fans erupting in joy for SK Telecom. They're going to be able to pick up another plate here now, down in bottom, as well as the Mountain Drake. And Clid might even actually be able to go over and get the blue buff if he so pleases. Ezreal and Braum can definitely go with him. You know that Nocturne probably just wants to go and get his red buff, as LeBlanc's nowhere near being able to go and get the blue.
Yep, absolutely. That's 2 turret plates going over to Faker. That's a whole host of them. On the bottom side, they grab 2 for themselves and cleared a free Mountain Drake after we remember how many wards were invested on this side of the map. Control vision everywhere. It's so much gold just going to waste.
And just take a look at this right here. Hanwha Life doing their best Kingzone cosplay as Bono just went straight on to Teddy, and then Faker was in close enough proximity to get the hero's entrance. Clid comes right back over, Dragon kicks Lava to his face. I actually thought Lava would go back to his original W and try to just run backwards, so to try to divert attention and maybe do Fog of War play inside of the jungle, but nonetheless, Clid was able to eventually get onto him, and as we come back to live, they're farming cows down in bottom, so...
Yeah, exactly. And as an Australian, you know, most of our beef here in Korea comes from Australia. I'm certainly all about the farming cows, and that's exactly what SKT are doing down there. Not entirely sure what Key was doing so far up. But that's a 20 CS lead for Teddy. He's going to go home. He's going to finish his Manamune. And then that's the 2-item spike that we all love to talk about on the Ezreal. And things are feeling very good for SKT.
Oh.
It's close to a 4,000 gold lead already.
And let's just take a look at how this whole thing unfolds. Key, that wasn't a champion. Well.
Braum, pretty cool champion sometimes. And that's just an ult, an ignite, a Q, and he's dead.
Yeah.
Wow. It's pretty clean, actually, by as it all turns out. At the moment, we've got Shelly being beaten on by Hanwha Life Esports, but Clid, Khan both setting themselves up. Marta's going to come on in here. They've got control vision of the area. Tal's going to come on over, but half the health bar right now.
I don't know what Hanwha's doing.
Softens 3 of them. No more spell shield for Bono. As Faker's just able to go in, get proto belt damage, and the reset. Oh, it's a disaster for Hanwha. They wasted so much time and so much of their health bars.
And Teddy, meanwhile, is going to get waves that Songyun is not allowed to get to. Bottom lane's recalling now. There's already level gaps in the bottom lane, and I believe in the mid lane. I think Faker's about to level up, whereas Lava just leveled up. These turrets are about to all fall, and the gold lead is just going to become so big for SK Telecom.
It's going to explode, and what I love is that this is the SKT that we were expecting moving into this series. This is the SKT that you and BBQ suffered against in the Kesper Cup, the one that was controlled, the one that was oppressive. I'm sorry, that's rude.
No, it's true.
But that's what I'm talking about. This is what you want, because you don't want to have this SKT not be able to perform to that level. And Lava is going to die at the hands of it. Winds of War. It doesn't feel like it's a war anymore. This feels like just one team being way better than another.
Well.
Oh man, it's just picks after picks. Braum pretty damn good at it if he finds him in the jungle. That's the ultimate. That's double ultimate from the bottom lane. Traded for just a true shot barrage that Teddy wants to use on cooldown anyway.
And the gold lead now is about 5,000 gold. That is a fantastic 8-pack.
Yeah, damn right it is.
All right, and what we're seeing right here is FedEx in the mid lane about to give the blue buff back over to SK Telecom.
Yeah.
And that was a very easy kill yet again.
Yeah. I don't
the
know,
gentleman's lane, top lane.
I think he paid for priority on that one. Tal going to clean up this minion wave. And 3-0-1 for both Faker and Cleared. And Teddy, 1-0-3. The Ezreal having the easiest time of his life. Hasn't stacked up his first tier just yet. So just going to go for the Lost Chapter. Building towards his double tier scaling. And the Ezreal is happy as Larry, as we would say back in the homeland. 3,000 gold is 5,000 gold is approaching for SKT as the lead. Shelly's still alive for a couple more minutes.
And I would hope that SK Telecom would basically acknowledge that getting a second Ocean Drake right now isn't a larger priority than making sure that they capture the Herald, especially because they're so far ahead. If Galio is help leashing the Herald, it completely defeats the purpose of the Paranoia being able to block out the Galio ultimate. And so as long as he's in close proximity, which he is right now with the Leesin, there's absolutely no way for Hanwha Life to contest this. They're just going to have to give it up. Look at all of SK Telecom's tier 1 turrets. They're all basically 100% HP.
This is more reminiscent of that perfect game that they were able to get in the Kesper Cup than any other game that we've had.
Yeah, against that team BBQ. SK Telecom were
you can hang your hat on something. You can hang your hat on something. You were there to witness the most perfectest game possible.
Well, you can eat chicken. Right?
I miss those days. Come on, get BBQ back into the LCK.
In time.
We'll get there. We'll get there. SKT sieging on the inner turret on the top side of the map. We have moved up to a 6,000 gold lead. Faker just proto-belting around in the mid lane. Feeling about as comfortable as he wants to. 7 stacks on both of his dank seals. Had to sell one of them, but that's okay. And Lava coming on over. This is the most anemic LeBlanc ever, though. And basically, he's just chain CC at this point. And that's not CC after CC after CC. That's one chain that he has to land in order to be relevant.
Yeah, and I'm just not quite sure what anyone on Hanwha is supposed to do. Their team composition needed to be ahead. We talked about that. This isn't a team comp that can use Baron, or they can't not use Baron in order to break into the base of SK Telecom. Without any gold advantages on any of their teammates, they can't even dive the tier 1 turrets.
Yeah.
And SK Telecom, they're getting too far ahead. I love the itemization out of them. You have the Ninja Tabby on Ezreal. You have the Iceborne Gauntlet. You have Leesin, it looks like he's building into Knight's Vow. And at this point, if you just get a Seeker's Arm Guard into Zanya's on Akali, there's no chance for a Aatrox or Nocturne or Callista to do any damage in the team fights.
Yep. It's just impossible. And I just want to sort of back up the drafting of Hanwha just a little bit, just to talk about, like, at the moment, it looks like this draft was just silly, right? But they have so many tools in the mid-game to actually make things work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that dive happens on the bottom side of the map. Bono clicks on the wrong champion, everything goes wrong, and then there's no way back in afterwards. But otherwise, this composition actually looks quite nice from Hanwha.
Yeah, in the mid-game. As long as not everything's going catastrophic, which it did.
Yeah.
The only real issue I would take with it would be the Aatrox.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
never going to let that go.
I mean, if we were in a different patch, then maybe we'd be okay. Especially then Faker would get away with having his Galio in here as well. Seeing Galio is certainly to mixed success in the mid lane, but Faker makes it look pretty easy after being hand-delivered a first blood. And look at Lava. It's just, I'm used to looking at this guy on LeBlanc and being terrified, you know, being ready for him to come in and blow someone up. But right now, I don't even think he could get half the health bar out of Teddy with a combo.
I don't even think he can actually go on Teddy without potentially losing his own life. So that's definitely the scary part. And here we go. They're all in. And Galio is so close.
Again. And in fact, SKT just take this as their turn. Key almost dies before doing anything. Klid's going to kick back Tal. World Ender has to be used. And that is a lot of value on the Proto Belt. Key able to get out of the way of the Winds of War. But SKT just say, all right, head back to your fountain. That's fine. We'll just take your inhibitor.
Yeah, and okay. All right, well, Lava having to back up right there. The inhibitor is now exposed. SK Telecom not going to take it. I love this so much. If they were to take it at 22 minutes, it's still too early. They don't have necessarily the resources to just go to Baron and start doing it immediately whilst ignoring Hanwha Life, and then you would have your super minions deleting an entire lane from you, and it would allow Hanwha Life Esports to slowly recuperate over the time of the inhibitor being taken.
No, I think that's fantastic to point out. And SKT go back now. They don't have to risk anything because they're not waiting around for the to take the Baron, take the inhibitor, sorry. But we're going to check this one once again. This key just gets exploded.
And Galio is in such close proximity. Nocturne can't actually go in because Galio can still see his teammates. And right there, Atrox got told to take his butt down to Oshag Hennessy's office.
Damn right he did.
Running back to the fountain.
You done messed up, Atrox. That is not the experience that you want. But look, maybe he'll learn. Maybe he'll learn. But if I've seen the skit, he doesn't.
Well,
Lava will get a control ward. That is in the positives column here for Hanwha Life. Cleared, searching around. SKT need to tidy up their vision. I mean, these two control wards that are in this area probably don't belong here. If you're an SKT fan looking at the analytics. But Bono comes on over, and SKT, the Death Squad, moving on out, clearing out vision, getting on in there, and you know that Marta's going to be around. Going to be denying the vision for Hanwha. And it's an 8,000 gold lead. I mean, this is getting out of control. 23 minutes into the game.
Guardian Angel for Leesin. Love it.
Yeah. Decides to give up on the Knight's Vow early. And because he had the extra money, may as well.
And, you know, the whole reason for the Knight's Vow and why, you know, some people might be wondering, well, why is it so good? Well, LeBlanc's an assassin and so is Nocturne, and they have to go in on one of your teammates, in which case, because you have the poke with Galio and Ezreal, you don't need to be looking for these insect Leesin kicks to start off the fights. Ezreal and Galio can do it for you just by throwing Qs out endlessly. Yep. So as long as you're just protecting them with the Knight's Vow, you remove options from the enemy team.
God, it's so dark. It is so dark. Saw the vision toggle just there. Thank you very much, observers, for letting us know that Hanwha have no right to see anything in their own jungle. This is what we were talking about before. This is the level of vision that SKT can provide. Marta throws out the Winter's Bite, and it has to be respected. That red buff belonged to SKT. This is their side of the jungle now.
And another mountain coming up. As long as they get that, that enters into the realm of being able to two-man the Baron. Ezreal and Leesin, or Akali and Leesin.
Cleared, not going to find the Q.
Yep.
Lava distorts back, and Clid, the reason he missed that is because he just wasn't expecting LeBlanc to be there.
He is he's definitely walking into a lot of fog of war here.
Yeah, well, we've got the Mountain Drake just spawned, True Shot Barrage just scouting things out. But some vision coming back, as this is the dance that we talk about, control ward dance. Clid the only one with one in his inventory, as far as I can tell. Him and Teddy can easily be able to take this one down. Double Mountain means that Baron is basically free, because they are going to kill it so quickly, especially for how accelerated they are and how much damage there is on this squad. Whether or not Khan comes down, to be honest, like, he can stay in the side lane and just continue putting on pressure if he wants to.
Yeah, and there's still a bottom tier 2 turret existing.
Yep.
So it's not like being in this lane is not accomplishing anything. And
Faker's going to face check, though, and there's a headbutt back. This could be a big problem, but he is going to get the taunt off. Colossal Smash is indeed that, but Marta comes over. He only has a Winter's Bite to offer, and that was the first whoopsie for SKT this game.
Yeah, and that's a really big pickup. It does buy them at least a minute of breathing time while Galio is off the map. Now, the thing I was mentioning earlier is one Mountain Drake's really nice. It does definitely help you take those turrets earlier on into the game. It does add a little bit of oomph to your Baron capture.
Wow.
Hold that thought.
Gonna get headbutted back. Redemption gonna come down to keep him alive. He lands every skill shot and goes into stasis. Vital has the perfect flank, and this time Aatrox is gonna get it right, and SKT get routed.
And this is a really big momentum swing. They're still down almost 8,000 gold, but they get themselves a lot of time. And that's all that Hanwha Life can really try to buy right now is time, so they can try to reach more items in hopes of being able to make a pick later in the game, or for Lava to delete someone before the fight. And we can just see, SK Telecom, they're pushing up with this wave. Teddy and Mata completely by themselves with no intel on the red-hand side jungle. And why are they walking up right now? There's no objective, there's no red buff, you're not trying to get the inhibitor. What are you doing this far up in the lane by yourselves? Makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, it's just overly aggressive. And they could have made that play if Faker was still alive, but he wasn't. I mean, Hero's entrance is why you're allowed to stand that far up. And wasn't there, so you're not allowed to. Play with some respect. However, they've still got 7,000 gold advantage. And they've got CS leads absolutely everywhere.
Yep.
Everything's fine, but you can't be making whoopsies like that.
And this is one of the things that has concerned me with SKT is they get these massive edges. They have massive edges even inside of the team compositions, even disregarding their gold advantage, and they're not figuring out ways of what to do with it. You have such a massive lead, and Hanwha's team composition can't play front to back. It can't kite backwards. Start the Baron, control the vision around it, and force them to come into you, and then you just take a team fight because you're up 10k gold. I don't know what's so complex about that.
Well, we'll find out. We'll see whether SKT can actually execute it this time around, maybe being a little bit too lax in how they're playing this one out at the moment, but you can understand why, because they have been smashing the early game with very, very clean League of Legends. They have bought themselves some theoretical mistakes, but that is not what you want to see. Now moving over, we'll see whether Clid actually starts this Baron, because they've only got one control ward in the back of the pit. Otherwise, it is pure darkness. Damn, that is a lot of zombie wards in that pit.
It's like the barn in The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh,
Thankfully,
man.
I did my research on Walking Dead. I started watching that series only 2 months ago. Finished it. Not sure how I feel, necessarily, but it wasn't
You watched
bad.
all 9 seasons so far? Really?
Yeah.
That's a binge.
Yeah, no, I went in.
Yeah. Here we go, wow.
Yeah, we've started
All right,
off
it
Baron,
only took us 5 minutes.
and Faker can play Keeper here.
All right.
Not sure whether the vision is going to be available. Teleport from Akali very early as they dive into the pit, trying to make it a 50-50, but that ain't one of them. As the Guardian Angel gets popped instantly. They had to go for it, but it didn't work.
All right, and now with the Baron, this is very easy to be the Doom push. No wave clear on the side of Hanwha Life Esports. Nocturne still down for another 30 seconds.
They're Fnatic brushing without sweeping. That's the flash forward. Fate's call comes in, but Sangyun, can he deliver the... Oh, no. Man, that was like...
That was the wrong way.
That was special delivery.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Kiosk and SK Telecom, they need a sub-support.
Yeah, I was going to start, making a reference to how good delivery food is here in Korea, but I thought maybe that was too much. Lava going to dart on forward. Faker does have the flash available, but can't quite find the taunt. And they're looking just to brute force this game. They're not really caring too much as Clid just goes in and one cycles the Aatrox. Hero's entrance there just to make sure Khan is not going to die, and that's a bare Nexus, and that's a beautiful game from SKT. They're going to take the kills. They're going to do what they can. Khan dies, but it doesn't matter. Teddy gets the double. They take down the Nexus, and SKT feels like they're coming back.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting where it feels like maybe those deaths caused them to panic and they're like, okay, we have to do something else. And then they finally did the Baron play that they should have been doing 5 minutes prior. And even that was actually a little too close to comfort. They stopped the damage at around 1900. They should have stopped it around 3000 so that if Nocturne commits, then it's a one-way ticket and he would just be going straight into his death. So little close call right there, but they ended up securing the Baron, and then it was all too easy to just barrel down mid and end the game.
Yeah, and I sort of want to defend Faker's Galio pick here just a little bit. I know it's been nerfed slightly. It's just moving in, ready. He's ready. Yeah. No. It's just that SKT play around Galio pressure so extraordinarily well. As far as like how they build team compositions, I feel like Zephyr has that one nailed. Like every time Galio is in the game, he's like, I know what to do. But some of the other ones have been a little bit questionable.
Yeah.
Like up against Griffin, they struggled to make things work.
Yeah.
This time around, they forged themselves a Galio comp, and it works as it's written on the box, like it's supposed to. But that game was entirely about Clid just being way better than everyone. He was so incredible.